the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you got a Redneckanize. Well, all right. Good deal. Good old Charlie Daniels. You can't go wrong with that. So, yeah, we're just hanging out here. Redneckanize, all things trucking and then some. You know, we're here live every Sunday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern time for at least a couple hours talking about today's headlines and what's going on out there in the world. Like I said, you can call in at 516-387-1733. And to be part of the conversation, just hit 1. We've got a couple other headlines going over. So I was out driving, and I still, for the life of me, can't figure out why. There's just truck parking is just so hard to find, and you could be like, I don't know, some of the even podunk little truck stops. You know, they went out and they built brand new parking lots in the back of their truck stop and expanded it, but then drivers will still park as close as they can to the building. And there's one out there. It's up north of Austin on 35. It's Wahlberg is what it's called. It's the Wahlberg Travel Plaza, and I guess there's a little town there called Wahlberg that they kind of finally got put on the map because people kept stopping at the little truck stop there. But so you pull off, and it's really easy to get to if you're going northbound. It's a little harder southbound because there's not a bridge or an overpass directly to it. You got to go down, then turn around and come back. So if you're northbound, you just take an exit and you're right there. Boom. You're the next right is right into the truck stop. And it's a pretty big travel plaza with a lot of fuel pumps or gas pumps in the front. Now what they did is they expanded to the back where they built a big fuel island where they've got like 10 or 12 pumps back there, and then a huge parking lot. But the problem is that because it's such a nice truck stop, I mean, they've got some showers, a little driver's lounge, big bathroom, huge restrooms. And then of course they've got like, you know, the chicken and they got the food. They got like 2 or 3 different places you can get food. And of course they've got the microwave and the coffee and all that stuff. And it's just a big truck stop where you can get plenty. In fact, they just opened a Huddle House there. But I just always like stopping there because it was where I never had to worry about it being really, really crowded as far as, you know, through the night when I would always pull through there. But lately it's been filling up, and it's being filling up just because, you know, word got out. It's got a huge parking lot, and the parking lot is always full now. The parking spaces that they've marked are actually full, and they're all parking like on the curb or on the side around. Like there's one spot where that's in between a curb and the cat scale, right before you get to the fuel island. Well, it's designed to where you can pull out and then make a U-turn and go right back out. But now the trucks are parked there. You can't go in there. You can't like make that U-turn and come back through. So when you pull out, you have to go down through the other back road, little back road they built. Luckily they did that, but I mean, sometimes that's even full where it's only, if you're going one way and a truck is coming from the other direction, you know, one of you's got to stop and one of you's got to let the other guy go because there's only room for one truck. You can't pass in between. Now, usually you can, but trucks are parked on one side of the curb, trucks are parked on the other side of the curb. So truck parking is just phenomenal. And what gets me is that these people, I don't know who it is, they keep going to the governments. And they keep telling the governments, we need more truck parking. So the government is saying, okay, we'll build more truck parking. Well, the problem is they're building truck parking like out in the middle of nowhere where it's not. I don't know if it's needed or not. Now, this one article, it's out of cdllife.com as well, and it's about Interstate 80 out in Wyoming. Now, I haven't been to Wyoming in a while. I remember going out there where there was only a few truck stops and a few places to park right there by the cities where you can actually get something, where you can get to a McDonald's or get to a restaurant or get to a truck stop and get a shower or get fuel. The rest of the way, it's like you're out in the middle of nowhere, and if you miss it, then you either have to find a way to turn around and get back to where you were, and that might take you out of your way for a little bit, and the rest of it is, you know, it's not out there. You gotta kind of be creative. Now, in my opinion, when I'm reading this here, it's talking about where these parking spaces are going to be, and it looks like that's because there's a lot of oil field work out there where the trucks get on the highway traveling from like where the oil fields are to where the refineries or where their lots are or whatever. And of course, there's a lot of trucks going up and down the highway right there, but they always need places to park. And what it seems to be is that the state is building facilities for those trucks to park right off the highway. But it's only in those areas where the oil field is. There's a lot of work on the oil field, is what I see from it. So it says here, I-80 travel will be impacted by YDOT works on 200 new truck parking spots. It says Wyoming's plan to build 200 new truck parking spots will impact I-80 travel through the state starting Monday. The $20 million winter freight project along Interstate 80 between Laramie and Rawlins will resume after a winter pause on Monday, April 19th, and will seriously impact travel as the work continues. The project began in the fall of 2020 and will create 100 new truck parking spots at the Fort Steele rest area east of Rawlins and 100 new truck stops at the Quealy Dome parking area west of Laramie. The Fort Steele rest area, including its current parking lot, will remain closed throughout the duration of the construction project. It says traffic on I-80 will start seeing impacts Monday as crews start structure work and begin building climbing lanes on I-80, YDOT said in a statement according to Oil City News. And see, so that's another part of the project is they're building climbing lanes, and that's great. Truckers love climbing lanes because that means that you can, if you're heavy and you're going slow, you get off to the right, and if you're light and you're getting up the hill pretty good, you can get in the middle and you're not impacting the car traffic that's going 80 miles an hour. You can still go up the hill rather quickly and not get in the way of the four-wheelers trying to get up the hill at 80 miles an hour. So that's good. It says work will impact the eastbound lanes over Hollick Ridge, mile marker 250.5 and 252.5 west of Elk Mountain, and in the westbound lanes between Quealy Dome and Cooper Cove, mile marker 281.5 and 279.5, near the Albany-Carbon County line. Watch for lane closures, reduce speed limits, and other traffic changes during construction. Avoid distractions like cell phones when driving through work zones. They always add that in there because guess what? People don't pay attention. They always got their head in their phone. Truck drivers agree. Everybody, they got their head in their phone. This additional truck parking is much needed, said YDOT District 1 construction engineer Wes Bybee. The additional parking areas can help reduce the number of fall asleep crashes, reduce crashes and operating costs for trucks searching for parking, and offer truck drivers an alternate place to park and wait out poor weather conditions. The project is expected to be completed on October of 2022. That's a long way, isn't it? But YDOT does note that project scheduling is subject to change, including due to inclement weather and material or equipment availability. And see, I think that's a lot of things that we don't understand. A lot of regular folk just don't understand that, up there in the north, when you get a lot of snow and it's in the mountain regions and it's really, really cold, and that you got to have the right weather to set the asphalt or concrete, whatever you're building. If the weather's bad, whether it's too hot or too cold, the mix isn't going to set right, and it's not going to do good. So that kind of stuff you have to watch out for. But I looked up these parking. I don't remember too much parking, like I said, outside of in like rest areas or outside the cities in the Wyoming area. But where these are at, they're probably like 20 or 30 miles outside of town. And the one that Steele, what was it called? Fort Steele rest area. I looked that one up, and I remember that one because that one, if you didn't know it was there, you'd pass it every time because it's not it's not like a rest area right off the highway. It's not a easy on, easy off rest area. It's kind of like you got to go up to an exit and then turn right and make a U-turn and come back down the highway, going like you're on the westbound side going eastbound on the service road or whatever, and then you come to the rest area, and it's more like a picnic area where there's a lot of like picnic tables and little areas to kind of hang out, and they've got some truck parking, and it's not always full because it's so hard to get to. So if you're looking for a place to park and you don't know that's there, then you'll miss it, and you won't even unless you see the signs and follow it. I don't know if they've changed the sign since. When I was out there, you like I said, if you didn't know it was there, you'd pass right by it. And then it'd be another 20 miles down the road before you got to the actual truck stop. And of course, I always like doing that. I like finding a place to park for the night. And then when I get up in the morning, I'm only, maybe 10 10 or 15 miles, like to be closer than that. But if I'm only like 30 miles away from a truck stop that I can pull into where I know it's there, then, you stay at the rest area, you get up and you start 30 miles down the road and you're at a truck stop, then you can get what you need. So you're not like forced to hang out at that truck stop where it would be really full or no spaces at all. But 100 spaces for this truck stop, I hope that they make it more accessible. And I mean, really, I don't even think 100 is enough. I think they need way more than that. Interstate 80 is a highly traveled road. Like I said, that's why I think that this is more to do with the oil field work out there and not really doing with like the travel of trucks going through the state, because Interstate 80, even in the wintertime, California freight, outbound California going east, I mean, it is just, Interstate 80 is just massive. When you think about it, between San Francisco and Chicago, those are the two biggest cities before you get all the way to New York. But you're talking about truckers that will pick up freight in New York and take it all the way to San Francisco. And it is boom, rocking and rolling, 24/7. And that kind of deal, those parking spaces just aren't enough. That's why there's a lot of teams that run that stuff, because with a team, at least you don't have to actually find a parking space all that long. And if you do need a space, sometimes it's during the day. I remember when I ran team, if we ever were planning on taking a shower or actually stopping for a long period of time, we'd do it like early in the morning or during the day where we knew we could find a place to park, and usually it's on the other end. You'd want to wait till you get to the destination before you took a little time before you start on the next one and go across. So, but sometimes things change. So you have to take what you can get. But like I said, I don't think that's enough. And it's in it. Like the other rest area or the parking area, the Quealy Dome parking area west of Laramie, I couldn't even find it on the map. There is a lot of truck stops going out that, when you're leaving Laramie, you start going up that hill and there's a TA and a Petro and a Pilot. And I think they just opened a Love's there, or they're about to. All that right there is you going up that hill. And then once you're out there, there's only a few more truck stops before you get into Rawling, and then there's nothing. So that's always a big point. I don't even know where that parking area is out there, because it's past, according to the stuff that I found, that parking area is like way past where that Petro and TA are. So, or Flying J, whatever it is. Yeah. So it's past that. So, and they're going to put 100 spots there. I don't even know if that's enough. I mean, I remember that TA in Laramie. I mean, it was always full during the day. It was full. So that kind of stuff, you just never know. But like I said, my opinion, there's not enough truck parking. And my opinion is there's not enough truck parking because of the property tax. Property to buy property costs money. To maintain property costs money. To put asphalt or concrete down to make parking, they need, and of course truck stops, they have to have sanitation where they have to have trash cans or dumpsters. Truckers don't take very good care of that stuff. So, they have to have somebody out there picking up trash and all that, because guess what? I just think maybe we as truckers, you see it, pick it up. And if you see somebody dumping it, I remember I was walking through the truck stop, and a guy was like maybe like 100 feet in front of me walking into the truck stop. So I was walking, he was in front of me, and he had a bag of trash in his hand. Well, he's walking right by the dumpster, and he takes the trash and he chunks it up, and it misses. It hits the top, and of course it's almost full, and it bounces off, hits the ground. And he kept walking and looking, and he kept walking and looking, and then he saw me, so then he stopped and went and picked it up. And it was like, I mean, maybe as soon as I saw it hit the ground, I should have said something, but I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. And then by the time he turned he kind of like kept turning his head, and then he saw me, and then he stopped, and he was kind of like, yeah, I need to pick it up. And he's like, well, yeah, you need to pick it up. You need to put it in a trash can. I mean, come on now. I don't know about y'all, but if I stop somewhere and there's no dumpster, but there is trash cans, am I like how we truckers do? We put it in we use Walmart bags as our trash cans, and we put all the trash in a Walmart bag and tie it up, and then we look for a dumpster. Well, you not always find a dumpster, but there are trash cans, especially in a Walmart parking lot where they have trash cans tied to their buggy corrals or whatever. What I would do is, you want to put it in the trash can. Well, it won't fit in the little slot, that has the little swinging door. But guess what? Those lids, they come off. And on the good ones, they're hinged, so they just come up. That you can pick them right up, put it in, close the lid. Case closed. Done deal. Why we don't do that? Why do you walk up there and it doesn't want to fit, so you just ram it in, it gets stuck, and you don't even try to get it all the way in? Same goes with the trash cans at the rest areas. You know, some places they have little slots where you can just toss it in, and then if you look, there's a little handle under there. And if you have a bigger bag, you grab that handle and the whole lid comes up. Wow, that's something else, isn't it? So you don't have to stuff it in that little slot. You can pick up the lid and do it. When you get up into the mountains, like out there on the East Coast, especially in Tennessee and Georgia and all those, Tennessee and Virginia especially, they have the cans, and what they're specially designed to do is make it to where the bears can't open them up and get in the trash can. So you have to watch out for that, and that takes a little extra work. So you got to get it done. But I think that, we got to take better care of our parking, and that way we will tell these private companies that, this is the private companies. That's who we want to make parking lots. We don't want the government to do it, because when the government does it, they spend too much money and they don't do it right, and they put them in weird locations where you don't need them. At least when somebody builds a store or a gas station or a truck stop, they build it where they know they're going to get traffic, and they build a good parking lot. And we should want them to want us to be there. Everybody down here in Texas, they love Buc-ee's. They say Buc-ee's is a part of Texas. Buc-ee's is expanding. There's a lot of Buc-ee's now out in Georgia and parts of Alabama. And, but Buc-ee's don't want truckers. They're not truck stops. If you travel through Texas a lot and you see these huge Buc-ee's, like there's a huge Buc-ee's in Baytown, Texas. There's a huge Buc-ee's in New Braunfels, Texas. There's where was the other one at? In Waco, there's a huge Buc-ee's. There's a huge Buc-ee's up on the south side of Dallas, out there in Terrell. Huge Buc-ee's. No trucks. No trucks allowed. And if you try to pull in there in your truck, before you even get out of the truck, they'll come out there and tell you to move, that you can't park there. And in my opinion, I think what it is they don't use the heavy duty concrete in building their parking lot. They use the lighter concrete, which means if they have too many trucks, it'll tear the concrete up. But I'm not real sure, because they let RVs on there. They have their own fuel trucks, their own tanker trucks that bring in the gas for their pumps. So those trucks are out there parked. The RVs sometimes are out there parked and set up with their stabilizing arms and all that out and everything. So I don't know what their rule is. I don't know why they'd insist on that, and I try, even when I'm out and about on doing my personal business and personal travel, I don't stop at a Buc-ee's, because if they don't want me when I'm working, then they don't want me when I'm not. So I want them to want us there, but I don't know what it'll take to let them in, because they have huge lots of property along the interstate. And if truck drivers are forced to take breaks on the interstate like we are, then we need to have parking available. But I want it to be, good parking set up by the businesses. I think the businesses should want us there. And it's kind of like, you're a truck driver. Thank you for being a truck driver. Here's parking for you if you need it. So, that kind of thing. But yep, check us out, redneckanize.com. One of the great sponsors that we've been dealing with here this last year is fairly new to us, and we're really excited for a great future with them. And that's Trucker Tools, the Trucker Tools app. You can check them out at truckertools.com, or you can download their app from the app stores. And, they got all kinds of stuff on that app. It's kind of like an all-in-one go-to place where you can book freight, you can track freight, you can find truck stops or Walmarts. You can go in and you can find out where freight is in certain areas, or if you're trying to get to a certain spot or whatever. They got all kinds of customers. They've teamed up with people like England Logistics and Schneider, East Coast Transportation, Ryan Transportation, all these kind of great outlets where they take care of all the things that truckers need, and it's kind of just all out there in one app. I like the feature where you can go in and you can look for actual specific Walmarts if you need to get some shopping done and everything, and that's really cool. So like I said, you can check them out at truckertools.com, or download their app at the app stores, whether it's the Play Store or the Apple Store, and give them a review and let them know what you like about it or what you don't like about it. They're always updating it and making changes. So, if there's something that you might have an idea that they could do, you go ahead and let them know. And let them know you appreciate them for supporting Redneckanize, because we appreciate when they hear from y'all. So like I said, we're here every Sunday evening, 7 o'clock Eastern time. You can give us a call, 516-387-1733. Check us out, redneckanize.com. And don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody doing that for us. It's been great success for us. We're really excited about that. So we're going to step away here, take a little break, and we'll see y'all in a bit.